Sometimes we need just a floral accent instead of the traditional body flower typical corsage. And the great thing about using the design disc from Fitz is it allows you to place flowers just about anywhere you want on clothing, whether it be a belt, a sash, or part of the clothing attire itself, because it comes with a super strong magnet, and this magnet grips on and really makes a difference in adhering. So we've got the plastic disc on this side, the magnet on the opposite, and what I've done is put a little application of the liquid floral adhesive right onto the top of that, and that's what we're going to actually work on. So when I do that, I just take my adhesive, put it on, as you see here, light coat, I don't want it heavy and dripping off, and then I'm going to add a little bit more to our puddle here so we can add the interest and pieces into it. Now, the rhinestone quintet, as you can see, gives it a lot of color impact as well. But this wire is a little bit too long, obviously, and I need a little bit better something to glue to. So I'm just going to twist that up and make sort of a knot out of it. Dip that whole entire knot into my glue and put that onto the design disc. That knot is so much easier to grab the glue than it is to place one single wire on here. So we're going to put those in place, as you see, dipping in glue. Those are ready to go. It kind of gives me a nice frame, as you can see, and now I'll add some flowers and some foliage to work along with that. Italian ruscus is a very long-lasting product, so that's one of my, I tend to go to that a lot. Plus I like the fact that it's light and lacy and it doesn't get real heavy and cumbersome. So I have 3 pieces of the Italian ruscus trimmed down. And that's important that we know that how large our placement's going to be, so it keeps it in scale. So again, putting those in place, building up. I tend to work in layers, and that way from the outside to the inside makes it just a little bit easier to work with. Dendrobiums, when we work with dendrobiums, we pinch off the stem. We add a little bit of adhesive where the stem attached to the flower, which actually seals that, and that way it keeps it from the water from evaporating. But I'm going to dip the chin. This is the chin of the orchid. That's what I'm dipping into the glue. It's the fleshy part down here that gives me something to grab that glue with. So I'm adding the dendrobium orchids, and now all of that interest that was down there, you don't even see the wires any longer. Add those in place. And then I've got some fun things, these beautiful succulent leaves. And succulents are so popular everywhere. You can't open a shelter magazine or a bridal magazine without seeing the use of succulents. So we're going to add those succulent leaves into our floral placement here. And the one thing you'll observe that traditionally we always tend to think about building off of a bow treatment. No bow on this one. Oh, before I put in the final touch, I want to add in some of the gleaming leaves, just for fun. Gives us that copper color, has the mesh leaf into it. Gives us great contrast here. And they're short, and if you need them to be a little bit smaller, you can always shorten them down, as I have done here. I'll leave this one just a little longer. And then I'm going to add some Hypericum berries. Onto those stems to kind of finish off those gleaming leaves. You can see the wire right there that I'm just impaling that Hypericum berry right on top into. One more, let's bend him back, dip him in glue to get a little, and just gives it another added texture, as you can see, going in. Glue onto the fingers. There we go. And then the kalanchoe gives us that burst of color. And sometimes we forget about our plant material, how it can add into and become such a wonderful addition to our personal flowers. You know, a customer's never going to come into you and say, hey, can you put these components together? It's important that you show them, that you put them on your Facebook, and you talk about the advantages and educate your customer that not everything has to be a traditional body flower. And that way then you're going to expand your customer base for the different and the unique. So you can see as it dries and comes together, it's really just attached to that design disc from Fitz Design, and one disc turned into that beautiful presentation.